Hello from Sojourn Psychology. This is a really important weekend here in Alberta, as yesterday was Truth and Reconciliation Day. Of course, this is a day that we just pause and take notice, to bear witness and to listen and to support and just hear the Indigenous people of Canada. As I'm listening and I'm reflecting, I really thought that it was interesting to notice one of the posts that we shared this week on our Sojourn Psychology Instagram page. And the statement of this post says that trauma causes parts of us to get stuck in the past. There are parts of us that are still anxious, sad, angry, lonely. And healing is to go back and rescue them. I don't love the word rescue, but I get what this person means. And bringing them, these stuck feelings, the stuck anxiousness, the stuck sadness, the stuck anger, and the stuck loneliness, that we want to bring these parts to come live, to be alive with us in the present. Again, when I read this post and I think of coming alongside of somebody who deserves to be honored and deserves to be heard, that one of the greatest gifts we can give to those who have endured trauma is just listening and availability and relationship. That repair is not something that happens in one day. Reconciliation, for sure, is not something that happens in one day. The more we bear witness to each other and understand each other as individuals, so each individual has their own individual unique story, which is important. I hear one individual unique story, and that does not cast all of my knowledge of a specific people group, just as my individual story is not a reflection of all people who look like me. It's my own story of triumphs and traumas and all these things. So bearing witness and listening, looking for the positive intentionality as we listen to others. And I think also checking in with ourselves about our own positive intentionality as listeners. So it is hard to hear people talk about their trauma, and we are going to feel our own trauma feelings. Our emotions are signals. They're signaling something to us when we feel emotion inside because we're bearing witness to somebody else. This is noticing that we are picking up that there's some really important energy in the room. What we do with that is our own prerogative, I guess. You know, my hope is that the more I understand my emotions or signals, the more I can understand my signals as relevant to tuning in better with other people groups that may be different than my own, or other stories of trauma that is different than my own. I don't always get it right. I'm a person like everybody else, so it's okay. You don't have to always get it right. The points where we get it wrong are actually very vital when we find out, when somebody shares with us that we have come across bigoted or inappropriate, judgmental, racist, something that is just really unacceptable to our nature as loving beings, hateful. Those are points where we can wrestle with ourselves and better understand. Sometimes behind our gravest mistakes with other people is some good intention. Sometimes we think we have good intention towards others and we just don't, and we need to correct that inside of ourselves. So the action of listening and bearing witness to other people's trauma, to figure out how we can be with them in those emotions that are, really unresolved anxiousness, sadness, anger, loneliness. We're not going to fix things for people, but we can love people. And what I ponder as I form my theories of being with is that we can hear others with loving ears, and we can see others with loving eyes, and we can know others with our loving mind. As we're listening bravely, And as we are just coming alongside of people who have endured trauma, are listening, are seeing, and are knowing them all within a heart of love is a beautiful and vital step in the right direction, because we are all included in the same heart of love and we're all just loved, lovable, and loving. Those are important things to wrestle with. So I hope you do make time to listen. I hope you do make time to have compassion, whether you are Canadian, whether you are Indigenous Canadian, or whether you are from a different country. When we are afforded the opportunity to hear somebody share vulnerably about who they are, and we can listen with loving ears, and we can see with loving eyes, and we can know with a loving mind. That's a beautiful place to begin. And if it's hard for you, that's okay. Let's wrestle with our ability to love. We don't need to judge. We don't need to jump in to fix it. We don't need to share our trauma story, because that's pulling away. Listening is where it's at. Let's just start there and struggle with how hard it is to actually sit and tune in with love and hear people as they talk about their experience of being human. I am so grateful for Truth and Reconciliation Day. I'm so grateful for what it teaches me about listening. And I'm so grateful for those who have shared stories that I can bear witness to. Because learning how to love more and more, and increasing, like learning how expansive love is inside of who we are, is so potent. And the beauty of the emotion that we can access in to our interior world and be even more present with someone else's interior world. So let's just keep growing and learning how to listen and see and know other people, and to trust that we're all just included in this great big heart of love. All right, you guys, peace, love, and I hope you feel encouraged. It's hard and it's a struggle to get good and slow and listen to others and listen to ourselves. But it's so worth it.